Hello everyone, welcome to Mastermind. So this is the 9th video in which we are discussing about Indian Constitution. So in this video, let us discuss about Article 14 itself. Because Article 14 itself will take the complete video because there are two concepts over here in order for us to understand. One is what is equality before law, and the second one is what is equal protection of the laws. Let us try to understand that in simplest of the manner. But here you can see that in the constitution only they have mentioned it as right to equality. Right to equality. Under right to equality, the first article will be Article 14. Article 14. So Article 14 says equality before law. So what is Article 14 saying? Article 14 itself is saying there is equality before law. Let us read the article as it is. The state shall not deny to any person, shall not deny. We have already seen what exactly is state. The state, we have already seen what exactly is state in previous parts. The state shall not deny to any person equality before the law. They have added or also over here, or the equal protection of the laws within the territory of India. So they are mentioning about equality before the law also. This will not be denied. By whom? By the state. This also equal protection of the laws. This also will not be denied. By whom? By the state. Where the geography also it is telling that it is in the territory of India. In the territory of India. So it is telling that the state shall not deny to any person the equality before law or equal protection of the laws. Let us go back to our preamble first. So if you are looking at a preamble and if you look at this particular region over here, which is equality, this article also is speaking about equality, correct? We have seen that the lesson or the article itself is related to equality, which we have seen over here. It is telling there is right to equality, and here also there is equality before law. Here also there is equality before law. Here there is equal protection of the laws. Let us look at the preamble and see where they have mentioned about equality. In the preamble, if you look over here, here they are mentioning about equality. That is what equality it is mentioning? Equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all. So it is mentioning about status also and opportunity also. I hope that particular part is clear. So in the preamble, it is mentioning about status and opportunity. That is equality. Equality of status and opportunity. So the expressions which is mentioned in this particular article, which is the equality before law and equal protection of the laws, itself seeks to establish this itself, that is the status. Equality is status, which is mentioned in the preamble also. Thus, if there is any discriminatory treatment in with respect to a person on the basis of, let's say, caste, creed, sex, gender, place of birth, or religion, it is prohibited. Because if it is not prohibited, then it will affect the equality of status. It will affect the equality of status. I hope till here it is clear. We still did not go to the concept of equality before law. We are just trying to understand what the statement is telling for us. It is telling about the equality. And what equality? Status and opportunity. Okay. And thus this article itself, if there is any discrimination against the treatment on the ground of a person's caste, creed, sex, color, gender, religion, or place of birth, that is prohibited. That is what we can derive from this particular article itself. Okay, because it is mentioning about the status, it is mentioning about equality, so we can derive it from this particular article. It is not mentioned in this particular article, but we can derive it. Now there are two concepts which is mentioned over here. First one is there is equality before law. Equality before law. Various times this has been asked in the examination. The second one is equal protection of the law. Equality before law, and the second one is what? It is related to equal protection of the laws. This equality before law, it is considered as negative concept. It is considered as negative concept. We will understand about this. You just don't worry so much. We will understand about this. Equality before law is considered as negative concept, whereas equal protection of the law is considered as positive concept. Positive concept. So if they're asking you in the examination which of the following is a negative concept, or if they give in the statement that equality before law is a negative concept, then that the statement is correct. If they give it as equality before law is positive concept, then that statement is wrong. You have to judge on that basis. I hope till here it is very clear. Now, why is it considered as a negative concept? Why is it considered as negative concept? It is mentioning about equality only, right? But why is it considered as negative concept? It is considered as negative concept because it mentions about absence of any special privileges. Absence of any special privileges. Absence of any special privileges. That is, certain individuals will be having special privileges. That is not considered over here. Here, what is considered is if there is a law, that ordinary law of the land is applicable to everyone. That is, equal subjugation of all classes to the ordinary law of the land. Ordinary law of land. So, ordinary law of land, there is equal subjugation of all the classes to the ordinary law of the land. So here the negative concept says that there is absence of special privileges. That is how it is negative. Okay, it speaks about the restrictions. That is why it is negative concept. That in another words, we can say that this equality before the law means that doesn't matter what that person's status is, what their wealth is, what their background is. When it comes to legal system, everyone has to be treated equally. So according to this concept, which is equality before law, if let's say there is a politician, if there is a politician who has committed theft of XYZ, then there is a punishment of, let's say, 1 year for this. And there is a common man. That person also commits the theft of the similar thing. Then they have to be given 1 year punishment only. So that is how they are treated equally. Now, what happens outside in the reality, that we can always judge on, but we are just looking it on the examination perspective over here. So what it is mentioning is what we are to be reading, because in equal protection of the laws we will read the concept in different perspective. Okay, so if there is a crime which is committed by, let's say, a politician, they also have to be treated with the same law. If it is by the common man, then also they have to be treated by the same law. That is why it is absence of any special privileges, and hence equality before law is a negative concept. Then why do you call equal protection of law as positive concept? Here they are mentioning about protection of the law, right? Then why is it called as a positive concept? Because if there is equal circumstance, then there is equal treatment. If there is equal circumstance, there is equal treatment, and hence it is considered as a positive concept. So they are mentioning it in a positive manner over here when it comes to equal protection of the law. Now, when it comes to equality before law, from this we have the doctrine which is rule of law. Rule of law. Who rules? The law itself rules. Who rules? The law itself rules. In other words, it is saying that no one is above law. No one is above law. Okay, so the doctrine of rule of law, we have got the doctrine of rule of law from equality before law, and this is from British jurisprudence. Okay, that is, doctrine of rule of law implies that no one is above the law. You can also call it as only when the crime has been committed, only when the law has been broken. Okay, only when the law has been broken, which is the ordinary legal manner, in ordinary legal manner, only that time the person can be punished. Okay, if the law has not been broken at that point of a time, that person cannot be punished. That is, every man, whatever be his rank or condition, is subject to ordinary law of the land and jurisdiction of the ordinary tribunal. That is, this person also goes to the same court, this person also goes to the same court. So we have discussed about this previously, but I'm trying to make it more clear so that it stays with you for longer duration. So what we have seen related to equality before law, it is a negative concept. The doctrine of rule of law comes from equality before law. It is from the British itself. It means no one is above the law. It is negative concept because there is absence of any special privileges. That is, everyone has to be treated with a similar law by the similar tribunal itself. But in case of this equality before law, which is mentioned over here in Article 14, there are a lot of exceptions as well. For example, if you are taking Article 361 of Constitution, it says that there are certain privileges and immunities which is provided to President of India, Governor of the state, etc. That is, there cannot be criminal proceedings which can be instituted against the President of India or Governor of the state whenever their terms are there. And then there are special privileges and immunities which are given to ministers, member of parliament, state legislative assemblies, etc. So when we are considering it as the fundamental right, it is mentioning fundamental right, but when we started discussing about fundamental right itself, I had said that every time there is a right, there is also exception, and the power is given to the parliament in order to make changes as and when the time arises. So that is why it is equality before the law. I hope this equality before the law concept is clear. Now, in this case, equality before the law, it is from British Constitution. It is from British. In case of equal protection of law, it is from American. Okay, it is from American Constitution. It is American Constitution. So if a statement says that equal protection of the laws is from British Constitution, then the statement is wrong because it is from American Constitution. So these are some of the points which we need in order to answer in the examination. Now what this equal protection of the law is telling, it is equal circumstance, equal treatment. You can also say that the same law must apply to all those who are similarly situated. Same law must be applied to all the people who are similarly situated. That is, equal protection means equal protection under equal circumstances. Okay, I hope both the concepts are clear and you have understood about right to equality's first article, which is Article 14, which is related to equality before the law. Equality before the law, it is from British. Equal protection of law is from American Constitution. This is the positive concept. In this case, it is a negative concept. Doctrine of rule of law has come from equality before the law. That is, no one is above the law. In the case of positive concept, it is equal circumstances, equal treatment. That is, same law shall be applied to all those who are similarly situated. Okay, there can be regional, that is, there can be regional classification as well, but there has to be conditions for that. That is, it should be properly differentiating persons, and it can be grouped into different left group, etc. as such. There can be different groups as such, but that will be a little complex for us. But whatever we have discussed till here, that much will be very, very important, and with help of that we can answer the questions in the examination. So in the next part we'll discuss about article 15. So there are a lot of articles which we can discuss in one particular video itself. Let's say if we are discussing about vice president or speaker, at that point of a time whatever is the articles, if let's say there are 5 to 6 articles, all those we can cover in one video itself. But that will not happen when we are discussing about fundamental rights, because everything needs detailed explanation. Because you might have seen in previous two videos also, article 13 itself has taken around two videos for us to understand what exactly it is trying to tell, what is null and void, what is pre-constitutional laws. And then we had seen about the different doctrines which came into place. And then before we started about right to equality itself, we had finished about right to property. In that also we had seen the relations related to right to property, legal right, constitutional right, etc. So those things will be very very important. We'll try to go very slow, but I'll try to repeat a lot of things which we are discussing as and when it is necessary, so that it stays with you along with the video itself. In the next part we'll discuss article 15.